range 2 of clouds. How long have you been here?
Almost 3 weeks.
Then you should already know, Nurse Elkins, that the goal is to keep the patients alive, not kill them with negligence after a surgeon has done his best to save them. I expect everyone to be well versed.
I was making noise here, so I had turned that off. I was gathering some things and I was like, you know what?
How you doing, Mama?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so tired. I got so confused. I was like, thought it was today, but then I looked at the last email and it said Wednesday. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, it's tomorrow. And I was like falling asleep like at 6 o'clock. And then you sent
Mine, I'm going back to recording. I'm going down to stay with Katie March 11th. So the Monday to Friday, like March 11th to call it the 14th. No, whatever that is, maybe the 14th.
Uh-huh.
No, it would have to be the 15th. Whatever.
11th through the 15th?
17th to, so it's like 14th.
11 through the 17th?
Whatever the
You're going
Monday
like
to
a
Friday
Thursday
is.
to- yeah.
Okay.
Monday to Friday and then leave. So
She's Columbia, right?
she's Columbia. Yeah, it would take you like an hour and a half. So it's just Katie and I home, just to put that little idea on your,
Oh, it's just the two of you?
well, and 4 children.
Why? Where's her husband going?
Glenn's going somewhere and Richard's out of town for the week. So that's why I'm going to help.
Oh, okay.
So just in case.
Yeah, I might pop up.
You want to come up, have lunch, see the kitties?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm just drawing a fun thing here while we're gathering, something we're going to do today. Red, orange, yellow. Can't see yellow. Poor yellow.
Maureen. Yo, Moeen. How you doing, darling?
Doing okay.
That's good.
Yes. Tired of it cold here, so
Yeah, cold everywhere, even here in the south.
All right, ladies, I'm finished drawing my stick figure. Just drawing, having fun. All right, let me pull up. So how are we on this Tuesday all over the globe here? Let's start with
You really sound so enthusiastic.
let's start with a little I gotta get some breath going. I was all over the place and then doing some things and my energy is like, so let's start just for a quick, let's like get our little self together here for a minute. Let's do a nice deep breath in through the nose and then just hold it for a count of 4 and then slowly let it back out for the count of 4. So let's go. And then sigh it out. Let that go. Let's let some stuff go today. I'm gonna let you listen to something for a minute. So this is one beautiful thing while we were away, and I will send the link. It's a guy in Shanti. It's a mantra. They figure out the fastest, best, quick, easy. Oh, here we go. Oh, I just let go of it. And it just was on. Let it resonate for a second. So this is praising the higher being, whatever that is to you. Your connection to it, praising that inner light within you. Ashley, your fireplace is beautiful. It just connected. It just like went right through me. So this is our connection to the light. This is our connection to whatever that divine, that beauty in us. We're connecting it to that beauty that we see, or that is a higher, that whatever we believe in, or whatever. It could be nature, it could be God, it could be whatever. This is a beautiful mantra, and I listen to it now like 3 times a day. It just reminds me. So it's the Gayatri mantra, and it's the divine, and it just it's so beautiful. And the
You
melody,
send it to me?
you could repeat it. I have the I copied the lyrics for us, so I'll copy and paste them in our notes that I send out, and which I may have actually done already. It could be in
Can
here.
you get a link directly to like the music part of
Yeah,
it?
so I just when we were away and we all had our iPads and we were doing stuff, we just pulled it up right away, and YouTube populated, them, so it like right away. So it's really beautiful.
Yeah, my sister just sent me a chant also yesterday. Yeah, so it's coming from all over now.
It's funny, right? This is the universe. It's the universe talking to us. It's winter time, and if you go through the seasons, I was listening to a business call today, and while I was listening to it, I was remembering like what they kind of like topped off on the last one. And if you go into the teachings, Tony Robbins and what he teaches in business, which has gone on for, eons, is the cycle of the actual seasons within cycles of business, within cycles of your own existence through time, which if you think about it, it's exactly what we teach in Ayurveda. It's the different times of life and the doshas, where you know how the doshas are also like, kapha is the beginning part of life, pitta is that real that like go, those mid years, and then vata is like, later on in life. It's how we incorporate those within the season. So it's the same thing. And it's that winter time. So spring is that time of creating and doing and nurturing and kind of getting everything to grow. And then summer in our life, the same thing, is that like heat to get it done. You overdo, you do. And then whatever you really worked on really hard in the summer, in the fall, you get to reap those benefits. That's when we harvest. That's when we take things. And then in the winter, that's when you kind of regroup and you start thinking what worked, what didn't work, what did I pass up on, what did I accelerate in, what did I do? So as you connect all of these worlds are starting to come together. And I think even having the last 2 years of pandemic and having everybody come together in these like Zoom masterminds globally, and people are connecting on different paths and seeing what's happening and what's changing in the world. And it's kind of neat. Some really cool things are coming out of it. The connections between, even the business world and now the spiritual realm, people are really integrating that within the physical body. And they're like, oh, guess what? We're getting it. Like there's this whole flow that has to go, like, nature and the mind. And so I'm finding it pretty fascinating now that so many people were forced to go and think and be outside of their box, outside of going to the office every day, outside of, meeting and lunching and all this. So that introspect for a while, although it was really scary and people were isolated and lonely, all that, I think it brought some things out. So it's kind of a really neat development, that because I'm on different platforms, so I'm hearing it from different angles coming in. So it's pretty neat that people are now connecting all of this. So let's go back. Let me just pull up my notes so I don't get totally off the wall here. I always do this. When you go to expand and you didn't mean to expand, and you want to collapse a door, a window. I never remember how to collapse this one. There we go. All right. So let's go back into this. So let's start, since this group has been a little like segregated and separated and missing and all that. Let's go back first. Let's kind of open it. Where do you have issues? Where are we not only stuck, but where did we leave off in your light? Where do we want to come back into? Any questions, anything that we maybe want to address or kind of like bring up in conversation first, like some first business? Anyone want to kind of start off with like, where are you? What's going on right now in your world right now? Anybody?
Any takers?
Mo, how are you? What's up?
Sorry, going a little crazy, but other than that, I am good.
Business
Sorry, I
wise?
was just reading the Jung thing on the shadow part. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right,
And
that's how
it was on like the last couple paragraphs. No, I mean, we moved up my parents' closing, so it's been a little bit crazy. So they're going to close this week instead of later on in the month. So it's been a little bit hairy. But we're ready now.
You're ready now. You're getting through.
Yeah, we're getting through. And it's a little bit my brother and I were talking today. It's a little bit sad.
Of course it is.
Yeah. But need to move on, but still sad. So, we were just going through all that, talking about all that stuff. But that's pretty much what's the only thing that's been going on, which is keeping us a little bit busy.
All right. Well, we're going to, so hold that thought. So when we get into the next little section, I'm going to bring that back up.
Mhm.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, Mo, I have been there. I know probably most of us, Debbie, you haven't yet. I have, and it's really hard, that last time in your parents' home and, having had to divest of all of the belongings that they bought and cherished. It's a big loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, yeah, it's just been weird. But there were good things, and things were like, oh my God, get rid, and this, get rid of that. This is, but then there was a lot of laughing in there because we found some pictures and things were like, oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, thank you. I'm gonna say this wrong, but I'll be glad when it's over.
Absolutely. Although there was animosity and there were feelings and there was things that broke you down and things that you
Oh
lived
yeah.
with so long and all, it's still hard to deal with the closure of it, good or bad. As we're learning here too and supporting each other through the thinking process, the mind, the body, we can't ignore the negative. You have to deal with the negative, but deal with it in the proper way and give it its purpose, give it its, you will definitely learn something from it. You're going to carry something forward. But the negative part that is not going to play on in you is the part that probably could have continued to keep damaging you. So,
oh God, yeah. No, and that's the part where I'll be glad. Like, I feel like I could get some closure on that aspect, and what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just I want it to be in March.
Yeah, you are.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, I get it. So
You're gonna be ready for the cleanse, Mo. You're gonna be
Oh
so
God.
in
Yeah.
for the
You know what?
cleanse. Oh my
Big
gosh.
time this
Because that
time. But that
timing
one
is
was
like,
great, but this one's huge.
it's like,
yeah.
it's like mid-March usually, right? We do it. So it'll be
Mhm.
perfect for you. You're gonna be psyched.
And I want
Yeah,
you to know I
this-
made 16 hours twice, people. Thank you.
What'd you say?
I made the 16 hours twice.
Oh,
Yes.
Woohoo!
excellent.
That's great.
Excellent. See,
Broke the barrier.
I did. I hover around between 14 and 15 now most of the time, but the 16 ones, I will tell you by then I'm hungry.
yeah.
Yes.
But that's good. Like, and of course you want to do that, like that metabolic fluctuation, like you want to do a little bit more and then a little, like you don't want to just
Right.
keep going, once you get to that cap, because then the body is only in that type of fat
Yeah. So I'm
metabolism,
trying to go
like
back to
using
some 12 and then jump to, yes, exactly.
yeah. You want to make sure that the body is equally strong and able to do, go back and so that, metabolic flexibility is really important. So that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Very good. Very, very good. So Ash, what's going on in the belly world?
It's funny, I was talking to my doula today about things, and I'm in a really good place of just like surrender. And it's a place that I don't really thrive typically in. I don't usually get there. So I'm just feeling like really calm and peaceful and slow, and just kind of like I take my dog for slow walks, and they're shorter than I would like them to be, but it's all right. You know what I mean? And it's just different, but I'm doing really well. And I think it's helpful for me mentally too, like feeling her move so much. It's really funny. Like, it just is such a peaceful feeling. Like, if I start feeling stressed or if I start feeling like worrisome almost, like I feel her moving around, I'm like, oh yeah, you're here. That's all I need. Like, because it was just such a journey to be here. And I feel like I'm just kind of happy to be here now. Like, friends of mine are stressing and they're like, oh my God, did you get a going home from the hospital outfit? I'm like, I don't know. Like, she's gonna friggin' bring her home in a onesie. Like, I don't care. Like, all these silly things that people are so crazed about in this day and age. Like,
do they still say that? They were saying
yeah,
years ago. That, I guess that doesn't change, does it, girls?
yeah. And I don't want to
Maybe
be like,
that's what we worried about.
right? I don't want to like not have the photos for her and whatever, but I just, oh my gosh, all the stuff we've been through to get here and to have her and to feel safe and like her surviving this pregnancy, like I'm just feel so blessed and happy. Like, I couldn't care less what she's
Taking her
wearing.
home in a
I'm like,
paper bag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, I don't care. So I'm just feeling like really peaceful, and like I'm just unwinding from work. Like I'm getting my team ready for me not to be here in a couple months. Everyone's stepping up. So I'm just cruising. Like I can't complain. For me, everything is just really, really chill and nice, which is different for me because I'm like go, 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 crazy, 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 next, next, next all the time. So I'm just kind of like cruising, which is nice.
Very good. That's great to hear because that's where you want to be right now, coming into the stretch. Very, very good. How you doing, Carl? What's your take on all of this?
Well, I haven't been working for a couple of weeks because the inn closed down, so I've had a lot of time on my hands. And like I said, I've been painting every single day, and I had an epiphany like a week ago, and this past 6 months, I heard about a live painter, a live events painter, a wedding painter. And I've been like researching into this, and it's like a real thing. It's very new. There aren't a lot of people who do it. It's like when you hire an artist to go to your wedding and they capture a moment on canvas and you make some like ridiculous amount of money, like because you're a form of entertainment and stuff. So I'm like really laser focused on how can I make this happen for myself?
Yes.
So it's been
That's so cool.
exciting. It's just like a whole different this is like a total new discovery. It's something that's just being done like as of a year and a half ago. So there are very few people who do it. So the market is really good for this right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out, everything I need to like get things lined up to just sort of plunge right into it. So yeah, so it's kind of exciting because it's something, it doesn't matter where I live. Basically, I can do it anywhere and travel. And what I would make on that one day is, 3 times what I would make in a catering job with so much less physical ailments involved, or even like mural work. Like, I do a mural, it's about the same amount of money, but that could take me 2 weeks schlepping to this place for 2 weeks straight. This is like one night. And then you finish it at home. I was like, I'm going to make this happen.
It's so fun.
Really cool.
Yeah.
That's
It's
like
called a live event painter, a live wedding painter.
live event. Is that what they're calling? Live event?
A live wedding painter, or events too, but mostly weddings. So live wedding painter. And when I go on like Instagram, I find like I'm like seeing the same 10 people stuff over and over again. So there are not a lot of people who do this.
Oh no, I wouldn't imagine that there are.
Yeah. But I'm like just
That's so
trying
cool.
to stay focused and trying to like not beat myself up because it's practice, 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 and speed is of the essence. So I'm not a super fast painter. So I have to like figure out how the logistics of this, but I know I can do it. I know I have the talent to do it. So I'm like just trying to
master it a little bit.
And not beat myself up. There's no reason why I can't make this happen.
Right.
So it's neat because it's this focus that I've had that I haven't had in years. So
excellent.
Yeah, kind of excited.
It's so cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, something to look forward to, something to kind of, get started and get rolling. And, once spring comes, that's when the mind and everything too, like it starts to.
And the time for weddings. So I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Very good. So svadhyaya in Sanskrit means self-study. So this is kind of what we're all doing right now in this little phase of the winter and kind of coming in and out. And it's like, it is exactly that. It's self-study, self-learn, look in, reflect, see what's going on, what's working, what's not, or just monitoring your own self. So it's really pretty cool. So it's that inner world, that external world, you kind of put it all together, but that self-study is, it's really it's like this profound thing in Ayurveda and in any Eastern philosophy to actually go and, inward to find your depth, to find out what is your passion or what is your, your development. And, or if something, it can use just the opposite too, something, if you've done something bad or wrong or out of the ordinary, something, go back in and reflect and see where you've developed this or whatever. So it's kind of what you're in right now, Svadhyaya.
Yeah.
So Svadhyaya, it's a good ones.
I think that's gonna be my grandma name. Yeah.
Yaya.
If that ever happens. Ashley, can I be grandma to your kids just in case?
Yeah, you guys can all have
Yay.
grandma duties. Heck yeah.
Yay.
Oh yeah, you'll be like passing on and
Yeah, I'm all about help. Whoever wants to come hang and like chill and, teach the baby to paint. Oh yeah.
all right. Shall we touch on, before we go into forward momentum, who has questions on the shadow work that we did last week, or who, Maureen, I know you just said you were reading it.
Yeah, it was. It's, I found it interesting because of course it's, well, the part on projection, I thought was pretty good, but I also know that what's interesting is I've been working on, like, when I get mad, and I think I talked to you this a while ago, like admitting it's it's okay if I feel this way and I don't have to just hold it in, and I can show that little ugly side every now and then if but that was pretty interesting. And then of course, I don't know, I thought some of it, the part on well, I'll go to the projection is, if somebody is rude to you, I don't know how that's a projection of me being rude to someone else. So I was confused on that.
Okay, it's not really. So just picture, I'm just going to imagine for a second. So Frank being rude to you, because
Yes.
that used to get you.
Mhm.
So when someone is rude and that irkness is in there, sometimes it's just a crack in our beliefs, a crack in, so that the shadows are like little cracks in ourselves, like little cracks in that a little bit of light shines in and creates these shadows. A little bit of darkness is in there. So Frank, I'll just use Frank as an example. So Frank being rude at different times, that wasn't right to you. That didn't resonate with you. And it could go back as far as, let's say, somewhere back in time, your grandmother, someone, much older, possessed in you that being rude was wrong, that it was not, it's, you don't have to be rude or something. So you had this core belief that rudeness was not necessary. It was not acceptable. And then Frank, who is not that best, front for you to begin with, he had this flaw that was very important to you. And he gave it. So you would hold it in and it became worse and worse. And he was just rude to you, something. So it doesn't have to necessarily be your reflection, something in you, but it's a belief that you brought in, or you have, that's a true belief for you that rudeness is not acceptable. And he kind of twinged on that all the time. And so that reflection was the good kindness, love of your grandmother. I don't know if I'm just saying, just fictitiously, but then he constantly, he hit that on you every time. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your thing. It's something that's in you, core belief, your own shadows, a reflection of somehow you behave. It's all these little negative things within us that if you see it in someone else or you act out, it's usually there's something in you that wants to come out, but you're suppressing it. You're holding it in. You're not allowing yourself to be that person or do that. So when someone else does it, it's really annoying. Or it could be, it doesn't have to be a negative thing like that. It could be envy. You could see someone doing something that you're very envious of, that you wish you could do that, or you wish you at one point had the opportunity to do that. But something in your belief, something within your existence, your training didn't allow you to do it. So that's a shadow issue for you. Like that's something you haven't allowed to come out, it's still in there. So it can go really, really deep within, and it actually has connections to emotions, feelings. It's not just like in our heads. So that's why shadow work is it's really important. I mean, it's, I kept going into mine, as I was telling the girls last week, and we went in, and then there'd be more questions. Like you had to keep going in deeper. And then I'm going to have you guys draw a little picture. We drew a picture, did stuff. And after a while, you're like, shit, the crack is bigger than I thought. It's shoved in there, like, and it goes in and it touches all core spots of your body. And it is an absolute, it's a physical connection to the body. If it's those deep, deep ones, some are superficial, some are easy, some are like very noticeable. And then others, if they don't come out, that's where we really have illness start, or personality traits that just don't develop, or things like that, that can be really life altering. A lot of people have things that are just in their childhood that they were never able to bring out. Comes out in business, it comes out in relationships, people that are just constantly relationship. And you kind of see ancestral, where did this come from? But what, the healing never happened. They didn't get these things out. So shadow issues are really, really important, especially if you want to grow, if you want to succeed in something, if you want to develop, if you want to pass on core beliefs and feelings and emotions and things that are super important to you to the next generation. We have to address, we have to like get that shadow, whatever it's in that might be holding it, to not bloom completely. So, and it within us right now, within our identity evolution that we're working on from day one, remember, like, who do you want to become? Who is this future self that is up there? What is that picture for you? Who is it? How do they dress? Who do they hang around with? What do they think? What did the people that they envy that already do that? How are they thinking? How are they dressing? How are they acting? What are they learning? Like, it's all connected. And within our spiral of development, remember when I would draw, I actually just had it here on the thing, the identity. This is a super important, silly little thing, if I can find it. Right, good notes. So remember this one here. So this is our identity evolution spiral from like way back. So as we, like, here's our growth, our depth, and this is our line here, our identity. So your depth is here. So we have the two axes, and here's your growth. So in order to have growth, the yellow being our identity evolution, our like spiral, it's got to go down to come back up, down to go back up, down to go up, back up. And as the spiral gets bigger and bigger, and as we go, and as our identity is growing and growing, we've got to go down in deep to be able to go up. You know, the old saying, you've got to pass through hell before you can get to heaven. Like, there's certain things. So the dark and the shadow, they're really important to go down deep and grab these things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a shadow. It could be something at work that's hard. It could be something in a relationship where it's easier just to shut your mouth, or it's easier just to deal with that other person's whatever, or, you know, a boss, or a child, or whomever. But it's always beneficial in our growth spiral to go down deep, go in and address it, bring it back up. So within this darkness, we're creating the light after, and the light is where we want to be. Where is that? Who did we create as our new, our future self, our identity? What did we do here? What is our identity evolution? Like, who is this person? Does she have a crown? like who did we want? Who are we projecting to be? So this is that little spiral. Like, keep thinking of that spiral is really important. So this, a little bit of the shadow work, it's that constant, like, if something's in there, go down into it, address it, come back up. Like we've all been saying, you'll go to a yoga class and you'll be in a pose and something is completely opening and you want to cry, or like something just wants to come out or something. That is all those energy centers, they're real, they're connected, they feed certain. When they're blocked, think of, like, I think, did we touch last week, Colleen, last night, did we go into the Ingala and the Pingala, like the energy, we have the two energies that go back and forth, the lines, and they keep crossing. And as they intersect and they cross, those are your chakras. Those are your main chakra points. And then all the nadis that feed off. If you're blocked somewhere, those emotions, those things that are real core energies to those certain aspects of your being, that gets blocked. And then from there, that's when you start feeling like, oh, my lower back hurts. And women, especially very low back, our sacrum, our lower chakras are all really, really important. Women, we hold it in very tightly down in here. And women will have very bad hip and lower back when they're holding on to things, if they haven't let go, if they're stressed, if relationships are not going well. We really, really hold it in there. A lot of men hold it in their neck and their shoulders, which women do too, but women really will have lower back issues and things from holding things in there. And then that's all kind of interchanged with all of our female organs within the whole, just all of that blow flood, that creativity that's supposed to go on, our security, our rooting, our grounding. And these shadow issues are going to hit the different points. And if we're not allowing that energy to channel the Ingala and the Pingala and actually create the cross energy to send out to the larger nadis, to the, remember the srotas are those channels, the different channels we have in our body, that has to be open. I gave the story last time of the friend that I met in the course who completely, like, her body was broken down, and the Chinese medicine doctor said, this is it. Your chi, there's no chi flowing in your body whatsoever. In 1 year, you will not be with us if you allow this. This came from her husband having an affair. She didn't have an accident. She didn't have a big blood disorder like thing. This came from holding that in. She held in and suppressed. She was in denial. So the mind-body connection is so important to keep us physically healthy and on, but also keep the channels open. So back to like the Tony Robbins, his biggest thing is in life, you have to have a strong mind to do and to connect. He said, but you physically have to have a strong body to physically keep up with the mind and keep everything working. It's not a one-way street. And then when you add in the emotions of that spiritual realm, that's when everything starts to connect and we get that flow. So addressing our shadow issues or finding something, there could be just one thing, like I, went deep and there's a few things within me that were super important that really held back decisions or held back things that I did, created illness in me. And of course, the illness and that security and that rooting, that grounding, cervical cancer, the different stuff, the stress, anxiety, like the panic, all of that is interrelated to the chakras and things that I was holding closed that were locked for me because of, repressed situations and things. So all of this is connected. So it's really, we're always supposed to be going to that future, but we have to dig into the past or dig into, there's this one fun exercise. It's called regret mining. So you go into shadows or go into, remember we did the triangle, thinking, opportunity, and results.
Mhm.
You go back into your thinking, back into your results. What were some missed opportunities? So say your thinking wasn't on a correct path, or so it made you miss an opportunity. Well, we're supposed to go back in and learn from those missed opportunities. So say something happened and you missed something that could have been really great or, fantastic, and you just pushed it aside and we're like, that's okay, next time, I'll get it next time or something. But if you go back in and say, what really did I miss by not taking that opportunity or by not having that thought process out the way, you begin to learn from it. And when you learn from it, your thinking changes because you can alter the state of what brought you into that regret. So it's really, really neat to address these things as they happen, or as you remember things or someone brings them to you. And learning from your regrets is super important to go forward in a higher elevation, because we're always learning from our mistakes. But if we're not looking at the mistakes, if we're not looking at the missed opportunities and trying to find what was in there, what's the lesson in that? What can I take from that? So think for 1 minute. Oh, darn, I forgot my pad because I had some good ones. Think of something in the recent past that you kind of, you regret not having to, maybe you hit a mark, maybe you didn't go somewhere, maybe you didn't meet a friend, maybe you didn't take a business opportunity. But it was okay because you just chose not to do that or for whatever. Think for a second, was there a lesson in there? Was there something you could have taken away from that, or something that could have made a difference if you had thought about it and used it? Just think for like 1 minute, something in the very kind of close past. So for instance, I'll say, so I had, I was away, and at the time there was another little summit going on for me that probably would have generated a little bit of business in this other direction that I'm wanting to go. But I chose the other workshop, and I really wanted to go do that. So I was kind of like regretting that, bad timing. I wasn't able to do this one. So instead of completely like just disregarding it while we were away and we were doing things, we had this exercise too. And I was like, oh, wait, regret mining. Let's do that. I said, because I just missed out on this one. So what I learned from it, instead of just saying, oh, maybe next time or next year, I went back in and I kind of figured out what they did and where they were kind of going with it just by reading what was going on in this little summit and what happened and who were the speakers and all that. So I went in, and what I learned from that experience was go back and research or do. And after I went into it and looked at it, there really was only like one segment that I really truly wanted to be a part of and all that. So it was, my lesson learned was I chose the bigger one, the better, but I really didn't investigate 100% the one that I was regretting. So when I did and went back and investigated what was going on, I learned next time, really like read the list, read what's going on in the workshop, see like what's going on. So now before I do something else, I'm really going to go deep into like these summits and things that they have. Who are the guests? What points are they, because a lot of the points had nothing to do with what I really thought I was going into. So something stupid like that. But I learned now going forward, really do my homework, like really go in and look and list and do things prior. So learning from our regrets, learning from our shadows, learning from past things are really, really important for that evolution of ourself. Anyone else think of anything kind of recent that they probably could have learned a little lesson from, even though it was a regret, even though it was something that they didn't do or didn't see or didn't? It's kind of a hard one to think of like right away. All right, come on, iPad. How do I get you out of here again? There we go. All right, any thoughts on shadows? Any other questions? Laura, I know you were having some questions last week.
Yeah, no, no more questions. I'm just ruminating on some things.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an example either, Aunt Deb, but I'm just thinking the thought process around it is a really cool one just to wrap my brain around. Because I think sometimes you have regret and you look the what ifs and the whys, and then you're like, but if I really stopped and think, I'm like, well, what else would I have missed out on? Like, is that really something I really should think about and regret? I can't think of like a short-term example right now, but some of the bigger things I could think back to. I like the thought process. I'm gonna try to like use it more if I actually do have something regretting kind of popping up. Like, what did I really miss? I like it.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just really
Sometimes we think that we really regret not doing something. Then when we really go back in it, you can just pull off one really great lesson and then be like, you know what? I don't regret not doing that. I learned from it, and it's a good thing. So, the mind, body, soul connection thing. I had a coach. I had two great coaches, high school and college. And my high school coach used to constantly give us like the mind over matter thing. And it would be hot as hell or freezing cold or raining or whatever. And he used to say constantly, and he was our theology teacher too. So I had huge respect for him. And as old as like 14, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? It really, you don't have to pay attention to that stuff. You can get over it. Like you can. So I constantly would be like, yeah, it's really, really, really hot and sticky and it sucks, but so what? or freezing cold, you're on the line and it's like, all right, girls, take your sweats off. You remember this, Colleen, especially at like Homedale Park in November, and it's raining and snowing half, and you're like, what? Okay. But it is. So the mind body connection is so strong, and it is so important to connect and use, because the mind, pardon my French, but it can F with us. Like, it can really take over. When it does, it disturbs all of the energy flow in the body. And you're right. And life and relationships. And so having that strong body connection is super, super.
We're just so much more powerful than we ever give ourselves credit for.
Oh yeah.
Can I ask a question on that? And it's going to probably sound really stupid. So
No question. You're stupid.
okay. So could this also pertain to like embracing when, the cold water, the cold shower? And the reason I asked that is because I noticed last week, because we were in Florida for a few days and it was not warm by any means. But I would go, okay, I'm going to go put my feet in there, and it is not going to be cold. It's going to be okay. And I knew the water was 58 degrees. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to go with the, oh my God, I went in with this is going to be okay. And I didn't jump out like, how you normally would. So
Yeah.
would that be
Absolutely.
something? Because I noticed that I was like, I mean, my ankles were numb, I'm not gonna lie. But I was like, I can do this. It's not bad,
Yes.
There is specific therapy for that, where you actually go into an ice bath, and your initial reaction is to
We do it every day.
up and jump out. But if you just talk yourself through like the first 10 seconds, and you start to like lower your breathing and slow your breathing down, you're able to stay in for like infinite amount of time. It's insane. It does so much for your psyche. It's this type of therapy that they do.
We've actually, Colleen, we've been talking about that for months. It's part of like the cleanse and the challenge. So I go in the pool. We all tried to do, jumping in the cold water and all, but I'm in my pool back here till Thanksgiving, and then cold shower every day. Like freezing cold, turn it on.
Well, I haven't done that, but I will now, since Maureen.
Yeah.
I don't know about getting the whole body in there yet, Carl. But I was, I was like, okay, just stand here. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Well, I did it down there. There's a couple times the water was cold, and I'm like, nope, going in. If I can do it in New Jersey, I can do it in Mexico.
Oh God, yeah. Anyway, no, I just wanted to point that makes a lot of sense.
Here's a cute thing. So we're talking about back one flash to that future self, like keep bringing that in, because the mind will create what it wants. So if the desire is there, you've made your picture, you've drawn like your connection to this next level, what you are going to become. So the more detailed the vision, so the more you can draw out who it is you're becoming, what the next stage of life is, what it is for you, what do you look like, instead of having this foggy, like just kind of overview of, oh, I'm going to become, this, I'm going, Maureen's going to just retire on the couch with Scrabble. No. Maureen's not going to do that. No, Maureen's going to retire, and she's going to be like learning this whole thing. Like, you've got to be specific, like getting yourself up, like draw a picture of your.
There's something to be said about vision boards. People say that really happens. If you can visualize it, you can make it happen.
Yes.
And who's doing Italian with me? Because I've been doing it.
Me too. I've been doing Babbel every day.
Yay, I'm so proud of you. Yes. And even though it gets really hard, I'm like, keep going.
Yeah, even if you just do it for 5 minutes. And
I've been doing the French, but I won't be able to speak to you ladies, but maybe closely, but
yeah.
So what I wanted to do, which is a very, very fun group, we're going to do one of our liberating structures, and think of that next person, that next vision of you, that next, whatever that creation, who you are becoming next. And what values does this person have? What is important to you? This new, whatever this next stage of life, whatever we're creating, what habits we are actually putting in force to create this. Take 2 seconds and just write down the values that this person has, just 2, 3, like really core values, what it is. So this is going to be, I think the whole thing is going to take us maybe 10, 15 minutes. 10 minutes.
Maybe even if you have them now, but you want to,
So it could be anything you have right now, whatever is a strong core belief for you is
Mhm.
probably going to be projected into this new person, this new creation, you know, who you're striving, who you're coming to do. Now envision those, just call them like 3 core beliefs. So envision you as that person. These are your beliefs that you have: strong conviction to, or honesty, or communication. Like, you know, core beliefs can be, you know, 1,000 feet long. And I'm going to put you into breakout rooms for each person gets 2 minutes. So the first person is going to tell the story of this new person to their partner, and just talk. It doesn't have to be any great structure of thinking, but you're going to add in why these 3 or a few core values are important to you, who this person is with these core beliefs. So you can just babble for a minute or 2, like you can just spew out, this is important to me for this reason, I'm developing this, I have a strong belief in this because I want, like, you can just talk. So each person gets a 2 full minutes, so on your iPhones or something. And then the second person is going to go. So there's no interaction in between. The second person is just going to go. And then quickly, you're going to repeat to the other person what you heard them say. What's the values what are their core values of this new person they're becoming? And then I'm going to pull you out of the group, and we're going. So each person gets 2 minutes. So 2, 4, so they each take 5, and then 1 minute each to kind of reflect back on what you heard from each other, what's important, what the value of this new person they're creating. So it's called appreciative interviews. So the one person is kind of like almost asking you, so if this new person, what do you value? And then you're going to tell them, and then she's going to say to you, okay, you're a new person, what do you value? And you're just going to talk. You're just going to, it's like you're having a little interview. All right, I'm going to put you in breakout rooms for total of 6 minutes. And I'm just hitting mix up so I don't, 2 rooms. Everybody understand?
yes.
Okay.
Kind of,
think-
not really.
This is a very good one to get you all to kind of communicate and hear yourselves say what are your values, but more importantly, have once you think about what you're saying and what you're writing, have your core values changed a little bit over the months you've been taking the course. Your projected personality of this that you're developing, this new identity, have these things changed? Have certain awarenesses come to you because of the thought processes that we're taking us through? So I'm hoping that you kind of come away with it with a little bit of that knowledge, and then hearing the other person, maybe you know from the beginning of the course, maybe they talked or acted or had different thoughts, and now maybe it's developing in a different positive way for them. So, and then when we come back, we're going to go into the next steps. when we get in the groups and interact with each other, you get a different perspective of what you're saying and what you're hearing, because we listen better when we're in small groups, one-on-one, and especially when we're doing an exercise where you're going to reflect something back. So it actually is strengthening a few of our skills and skills we bring into all different aspects of our life, especially within the workplace and within relationships. We're usually really good talkers, but we're not always really good listeners. And when we're listening, when we're half listening, we usually can't reflect back on what we heard or kind of do anything. So as you go through these exercises, you're becoming a better listener. And they lost Colleen. So I think her Wi-Fi or something went. Maybe I should jump into this class. But so you become a better listener, and because you're teaching yourself to focus on the other person and kind of really, really listen, it's because you have to reflect on it. All right, I'm going to join this room. Did you lose Colleen?
I guess so.
Okay, we still have 1 minute. Do you want to did you get to speak, or I don't know what happened here.
I don't know. She spoke and I was just getting into it and I thought we were, and then all of a sudden there you were. So I don't know what happened to her because I was in the middle of, my spiel.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess she lost internet or something on her.
Oh, she's not on the call anymore
I could
at all.
Yeah, I was looking at the rooms and all of a sudden she was gone.
Okay.
Well,
hopefully she'll come back. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. She probably lost her Wi-Fi or something, because I think she was using her telephone.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't.
Hello, ladies. Hey, Mo. That was awesome.
You know what I meant, but that was so cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was awesome.
I know.
All right. Well, Laura lost Colleen.
Uh-huh.
She just must have lost her internet or something, because all of a sudden I was looking at the rooms and she had vanished. She was gone. So, but Laura, you can still do the other half of it, even though you didn't get to benefit by telling, your values. So what we do now is, my computer freaking just died. She'll be back on us.
Oh,
So what we're going to do now for a quick minute is, you're going to tell your partner's stories to us. So you're going to give a quick 30-second or whatever, what the values of your partners were. Like, you're going to, so it's kind of a strategy in listening as well. So whoever wants to go first and tell what their partner's story was, what the interview was.
So my partner is going to be an amazing mom. I'm going to say that first and foremost. And what her story is about building that stability for her, and that warmth and comfort in her home, and keeping that and growing on that for her children, her daughter, and then her stepchildren as well, and building on that, because as she had said, it's okay to be imperfect. And I think imperfect is great, because that's what makes everybody so interesting. And I think and her home is going to be a place where everybody's going to want to come to and hang out. And that is, that's what I heard, and that's what I see in Ashley coming forward.
I'm so sorry, Laura. I apologize.
Okay,
It was
that's all
lost.
right. All right, well, just reflecting, the partners are saying what they heard the story. So now Ashley's going to go and she's going to tell what she heard in Maureen's in the interview. She's going to report on her interview.
Yeah. So the one thing that I heard, Maureen and I were laughing about how much similarity there was in our stories, just but how different places we are in life, like how we're looking for, both of us have such a go, 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 and such a next, 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 and what's next? And I need this, I need that, I need to go, go, go. But she wants to just be settled and more present. And then the other thing that I thought was really interesting was a sense of loyalty. Like she wants loyalty and trust, and that there was some feeling of dishonesty amongst, like, in her family and her familial feelings of what she's going through now. So moving forward to that next person, that next version of herself, she wants to like really feel that she exudes a sense of loyalty, and then that will kind of return to her. And then also that sense of just real transparency and like a pushing out of that dishonesty, and just kind of being more present in where she is too. So yeah, we had a lot of similarities, which was really interesting.
Yes,
So.
and that just different stages of life.
Right. That's
Mhm.
where we're going. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So Colleen, you didn't get to, but Laura, why don't you tell your interview with Colleen?
Sure. So, Colleen is at a big crossroads in her life. She is recently divorced, and she is about ready to start a brand new life, moving to a new place where she has no friends, moving into a new home, and a home that's near her adult children, who she'll be living near for the first time, and has some anxiety about what those relationships might be like, hopeful and excited that her life not only does it has to change, but it is changing. And she is becoming the brave, self-confident, and creative woman that she wants to be for the rest of her life.
Oh, that's sweet. That's a sweet
That's
tale.
awesome.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And that's what you said, Colleen. That's what I heard.
Well, you put a little niceness in there, so thank you for that. Interesting. I literally was taking my workspace and just organizing some stuff, and I was in this drawer and I found a letter from my stepfather, who passed away. As you know, Debbie knows, he literally helped me through my divorce, and he passed away 2 weeks before the final divorce settlement was finite. And it was just all about, I believe in you. And it was all about he was speaking on my character. Now's the time. You're a beautiful woman, blah, blah, blah. You deserve so much more. And it's like, he was just was talking to me. It's like, I found this random letter, and it's like he was sitting in that room and said exactly right then and there. This letter was 8 years old, 9 years old.
Wow.
And all of a sudden I just read it, and it's like he was telling me these things that I needed to remember.
Well, you're aligning things for yourself now. So this is what we're doing too in this course. It's not only like a list of things, it's you acting them out. It's you making your mind up and changing your habits. So as we change these habits, this is the things that occur, and this is what happens. And it's beautiful to see the way you all told your story and what the other person got from it. But more importantly, as we go through life, especially now, through a lot of times, we're usually doing 2 and 3 things at the same time. And someone could be speaking to us. And we know this when you even just talk to someone and they're like, and they didn't hear what you said. So these little tiny, group things that we do you go in and you have to listen because you're going to have to kind of tell the story or do. So it starts to make you a better listener, and it makes you connect with the feelings of what that person is saying in the story, not just hearing words. And as we connect feelings with people, we're all exchanging these energies. So it's when you hear something and it resonates with you, it actually helps physically change you within. If you're a person that's not really listening and you're not feeling those vibrations, it's not making an impact on you. It's not helping to change you. So as we hear things, we actually can process them to benefit ourselves. It's when we're not listening that we don't get to take in that extra little benefit. It's the same thing like with our microbiome. As we're standing next to someone and we're breathing and touching and exchanging, we're unaware, but we're actually building ourselves stronger, and we're exchanging ours with them or with a dog or with a cat so all of this exchange is so important. And instead of always being so separated from everyone, learning to listen better and learning to, I know COVID is here, but you know what, after a while, you just got to hug somebody. You got to give a hug. You've got to touch. You have to. Fear and anger are the two most impeding emotions in everything, in our mind, in our body, because it's physically felt in you. Fear and anger, you can physically feel them when they happen, but they can react in business, in life, in your spiritual growth, in everything. So learning to listen to people and feel the empathy, feel the better stories, feel that joy that they're saying, feel that it actually builds you stronger. And or if it was something hard to hear, maybe bring something out in you that you didn't want to bring out. Maybe it's touching a base in there that maybe you need to address as well. So these little tiny quick exercises are really good for that, for reinforcing or for learning or for feeling. So they were.
Can we have Laura reiterate what she was saying to me to everybody? And then maybe we could throw something back at her real quick so she can have her
Yes,
time.
I didn't know if she got to say anything. I jumped in the room and
I got like 5 words out of her mouth. She wants to be physically more healthy, active. She started to go down that path, and then my computer died. Laura, do you want to share again?
Sure.
Okay.
So I was talking about who I want to be, who I want to become. So I said I want to be someone who is healthy, physically healthy, and that involves, losing weight, being more active and toned. So the physically healthy is number one, and the second one is more relational health in terms of being kinder to other people, making it a priority to try to make people feel good about themselves instead of trying to win the point. Winning the point should be secondary to how I make people feel. And so that's all around relational health and emotional intelligence, particularly in the business sense. And then a third one really is the spiritual component, to be spiritually grounded, which I am. But to develop that, to grow that part of myself. And then I threw in financial security and generosity. So that's what I'm working on.
So Colleen, what did you hear her say? Tell us her interview.
Oh, now you're I thought we were gonna all do it. You're putting me on the spot. I have a more like almost a question. All these things that you're striving to become, I guarantee that majority of these things you already are, correct? and you just want to hone them or be better at them and be a better person all the way around, spiritually, be better physically, so you can be all encompassing and just have a better spirit about you. Am I true in saying that a lot of these characteristics you already have, but you want to be better practiced at them? Laura?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I have some of them to greater or lesser extent.
Because, you know, you want to be spiritually grounded and everything. I think there are people in this world who are spiritual and there are people who are not. So this tells me that you probably already have a sense of spirituality about you, right?
Mhm.
And you want to want that to grow. And I think if all these things that you're wanting to be are all kind of fit under the same bubble as far as mental health, spiritual health and all that, being kinder, making people feel good. Now, what did you mean when you said you'd rather people feel good or make them feel better about themselves rather than winning the point? What did you mean by that exactly?
Well, you know, I usually try to win my point. And if I win the point, but I injure somebody in the process, I've actually lost. And that's what I need to really recognize and
That's a good
to
point.
actively think about the situation before I try to win the point.
That's
Like,
good.
right, is the point really worth winning if I hurt this person, if I make them feel bad in some way or another, or angry or whatever, what am I actually winning?
Right.
You know,
That's a really good goal.
So,
And I don't know
being
you.
right.
I don't know you personally, like at all. So yeah, it's hard to do, Debbie, when you completely don't know. Like, I'm trying to listen to what she's saying right there, but I don't know her outside of these 3 phone calls that we've had. So I don't know what you're, you know.
I think you nailed it, Connie, because you reiterated, I think, very similar to what I heard too. So I think you did a great job.
And it's actually better to do it sometimes with people you have no idea, because
Right.
you're just listening to what they're telling you. There's no judgment.
Yeah.
You're not judging. If you knew the person, you would already have a judgment against, but you don't. So you're hearing what they're telling you.
And I'm just typically a very inquisitive person. That was on my list from last week. I'm a question asker. I like to dig deep and peel the layers of the onion away. So I'm sorry if I went off course and I asked you questions as opposed to repeating what you said, but that's just how my brain works.
Yeah.
I think that's
You got
great. If it's okay if I could say this, because even though we know each other, we're still bearing a part of ourselves, like that
Yes.
normally we don't talk about, like to talk about, some of how we want to better ourselves. Most of it, I mean, I've kept in until we've gotten on these
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah.
Regardless that I've,
Yeah.
known you since we were in our 20s or whatever that is, it's still, you go through life so guarded, and it's so refreshing to not be guarded anymore, especially in this group, and be like, no one's going to judge me because it doesn't matter. I'm being honest with what how I feel.
Right.
And sometimes it's not a great feeling, but then sometimes it is. And I think as we all do this, it's just so eye-opening. And I look forward, and I love these calls.
I don't know if everyone here has been to therapy at some point in their life, but
Oh yeah.
this is what therapy is. I mean, normally in the normal circumstances, you don't dig deep and talk about yourself like this to people, because people look at you like, boy, you're full of yourself, aren't you? Like, it's just like, we just don't do that, So this is very cathartic because
Yes.
very
Yeah.
Bringing things out and sharing it and just getting it out. I mean, sometimes it's huge. And sometimes those little tiny ones, they add up. It's that constant little tiny attention to something, attention to that detail
Mhm.
that brings about the big change. Remember the Kaizen, it's basically tiny little steps in Kaizen as well.
Right.
But take for 1 minute and remember what you said, and then picture your 7 chakras. Where did you feel your own story resonate? What chakra? So within your values, your story, the portion that you said, not the person that you heard, what chakra did that resonate with? Where did you feel that in your body?
I guess I felt it here, like in my chest.
The heart chakra.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, I felt it right in here.
Me too. It was like a nervous thing.
Yes. Yeah. It was like almost like my stomach relaxed. I
So that's
can't-
more
yeah,
like in your solar plexus.
correct.
So you were giving up your strength. You were letting it go for a second. Ashley, you were feeling the heart connection within that love of what you are bringing into, like what you're feeling and what you're about to bring into this world is so strongly connected to your heart chakra. It is like,
Yeah.
but that strength and that what you felt in here in the stomach and all that, that's like, it's almost like giving up a little power. Like you were
Yeah.
free to like, but you know, it's what we have to, like that power of going and controlling. Maureen, like you're giving, like that's what's giving you a pit in your stomach, but that's what you're doing, which is a beautiful thing, because at that stage, sometimes that's what you need. That's what it is.
No, it feels good.
Yeah.
You know.
Colleen, you were the same kind of in the solar plexus?
It was more of a like a nerve thing, like nervous thing. It
Nervous
felt
thing.
in the same area. And now I'm trying to like breathe a little bit just to like release the
Yep, get that
whatever
that
is
calm.
going on. Yeah.
Very, very good. Laura, where did you feel when you connected with your own story? What chakra can you resonate with? Or what body part more so?
Yeah, it was, I don't know what the chakra is that's below the solar plexus, but you know, it was lower
The
abdomen.
sacral. So that's your female. So you were tapping into, instead of that, maybe that more masculine in the work environment or something like that, maybe you were tapping into your sacral, your femininity, that fluid, that flow, that possibly.
Either that or it was the dinner I ate. I don't know. It could be. There was.
You're so funny.
I also felt like I still feel like a tightness in my chest. You know. So, but
Well,
no, I don't think I'm having.
Yeah, that's the no. That's
Although those were both symptoms. Shit, man. Maybe I am. No.
I think you're just connecting with some real feelings. So that's the beauty of these practices. So as we go through them and then we physically feel where we're feeling these words, they were words we were saying, but the feelings are a physical reaction on the body somewhere. So as we just start to pay attention to where we're doing things and where judgment is coming from, or where this like root force or where the driving is coming from, or where the relief is coming out of, that's when we start to be able to blossom and really, really like move forward. So, you know, I think just chipping away at the little bits, this is what makes that superhero at the end. So I think if we just kind of practice on what we felt, like feel it as we're telling ourselves that story again tomorrow or something. This is what I have created. These are my values. And this is what I'm doing forward. Keep feeling the feeling that you felt. Keep letting that resonate with you on a physical sense. And then that's when it really starts to transform and become real. Once you physically feel it as an emotion in the body. So that's our takeaway.
I love
Thank
it.
you,
Thank
Debbie.
you.
All right, ladies. Excellent.
Yay.
So good seeing everyone. Thanks for being flexible on the day too.
Oh, it
When
was
does your baby
perfect.
due? When does your baby due?
May 5th.
May 5th.
I just hit month 7, so I'm in it now. Or no, yeah, May 5th. So it's what's the 8th? So under 3 months, baby. Woo!
Awesome.
Last trimester. Woohoo!
Yeah, we'll see when she decides to join us. But now
Cinco
she's
de
just
Mayo, maybe. Ben will be holding
Yeah.
up margarita.
oh heck yeah. I know. That's when she's due. So yeah.
All right, ladies, I love you. And carry on.
All right, carry on.
Bye, ladies.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dad.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Hey, who, by the way, sent me this text message about the wedding people that they knew?
Oh, Ashley did.
Maureen?
Ashley did.
Ashley did?
Ashley did.
Oh, okay.